is the Golf GTI. Golf is probably one of the most iconic and legendary models from the Volkswagen brand. Now, GTI is a name that is not uncommon in India because we've seen the Polo GTI back in 2016. Well, it didn't do that well, but that's another story. What we have here now is the 2024 Volkswagen Golf GTI Mk 8.5, and I'll get to the explanation of that. Now, this car is going to be an enthusiast delight. Now, how exciting it's going to be, let us find out in this video. But before that, welcome to Car and Bike. My name is Girish Karkera, and if you haven't subscribed to the Car and Bike channel, please do so, and don't forget to hit the bell notification icon. Don't miss out on any of our content. Now, the Golf has been on sale since the 1970s. That's a lot of time, and over the years we've seen 8 generations of the car, which is why it is Mk 8.5. The 8th generation was launched just after COVID internationally, and what we have here is the facelifted version of the 8th generation model, hence it is 8.5. This is bigger than the Polo GTI, has a bigger engine, has more power, and this is a bigger family car for sure. Now, the Golf has been iconic, and so has the GTI, and that goes synonymous with performance when it comes to the Volkswagen brand. Let us have a closer look at the car. The major change with the facelifted version of the Golf GTI were the front, of course, the headlamps are new. There is now an illuminated logo. You can see the GTI badging. There is a red accent which is very peculiar to most GTIs. That's the color that they use. Also interesting are the fog lamps. If you see, it's in the place where you probably have the air intakes, and it is mapped like a star, which is very unique. Now, in silhouette is where the whole performance angle of the car can be seen very nicely. It's a hatchback, but it's sleek and it looks really the part. Now, the design really builds on you, and that goes with most of the Volkswagen cars. They are a little understated, but it's a design that stays with you, and that's the case even with the Golf historically as well. It's always been that nice macho look that it has, sporty inherently. Now, in the silhouette also you can notice that. Now, in terms of length, so it's actually longer than even the Taygun SUV. In terms of dimensions, so it's a big car. Now, if you compare it to a Polo GTI which came in around 10 years ago, well, that was a 3-door. This you can see is a 5-door, and it's much bigger. It's longer than the Taygun. The only place where the Taygun beats it easily, of course, is the height and the ground clearance. The ground clearance for this is around 136 mm. Now, we've been driving it around in a test track, so that's not really a best way to judge ground clearance, but it seems adequate and it goes well with the image of the car. And the purpose why this car has been launched in India is Volkswagen wants to address the needs of performance enthusiasts. Also, this sits on large 18-inch wheels. The alloy wheel design very different and unique than any of the Volkswagen cars. A whole understated design bit continues at the rear, and you can see how it looks neat and purposeful, a bit hunkered down. The tail lamp design is more or less the same, but the internals have changed a lot. And mind you, this is the same technology, the IQ Light, that also goes in the much bigger Tiguan R-Line SUV that has just been launched earlier this year. On the sporty part, of course, you have this nice looking Volkswagen handle cum logo, which also hides the rear camera, the GTI logo, and twin exhaust. And this all talks about performance, so does the rear spoiler. And while the performance intentions are obvious, this is inherently, Golf is inherently a family car. So you get a usable boot which is almost 380 liters in volume, good enough for 2 big suitcases. And if you have more luggage to carry and not as many passengers, then you can fold the rear seat, which has a 40-60 split, and you can get an additional 850 liters. So that's a lot of space. The only thing that's missing, I would say, given the price of this car and the positioning, is that it doesn't have a power tailgate and you have to open and close it manually. Now, the erstwhile Polo GTI also had a lot of fans because of the performance, but the Golf GTI takes it to another level. Now this has a very practical and actually quite easy to modify. Now this has the 2-liter TSI engine, which is known to be, well, I should probably not say it on camera, but I will. It can be modified pretty easily, and this is mated to a 7-speed dual clutch gearbox, which is similar to what you got also in the Polo GTI. Peak power is around 261 brake horsepower and peak torque is 370 Newton meters. Now there's an interesting trivia about this. If you know, the Golf GTI, when it was announced for India, came at a booking price of rupees 2,65,370. Well, if you thought that the number was a little odd, well, that is because it's a combination of 265 PS and 370 Nm, which is the spec of this car, and that is how they decided on the booking price. In fact, the Golf's platform has also been the basis for other Volkswagen Group cars such as the Skoda Octavia and Audi A3. Is there anything missing? Of course, the power goes only to the front wheels. There is no all-wheel drive option with the Golf GTI. Now, considering that this car is an enthusiast delight and probably there'll be a lot of people opening the engine hood of this car, I'm sorry to tell you that there is no hydraulic strut for the bonnet, which was actually earlier there in the previous generation Golf. Now, just like the sporty exteriors, I really love the interiors of this Golf GTI. They've got a nice mix of keeping it elegant, premium, as well as sporty at the same time. Now, a lot of brands do that where they say the interiors are sporty, but not really. But here is a classic case on how to go about it. If you look at the dashboard, it's all facing the driver. There is a large instrument cluster, the large screen which is slightly tilted towards the driver, unlike a lot of family saloons or family sedans. And they've got this nice dual color finish and on the dashboard as well. The AC vents hidden elegantly into the dashboard. Now the controls are a mix of physical buttons, touch buttons, and the touch screen, of course, and it takes a little getting used to, but once you get the hang of it, then it's pretty easy to go about it. All the functions are through the touchscreen, including the air conditioner, which maybe a lot of purists or petrol heads may not like. They like these physical buttons, but there are buttons, and there are buttons on the steering wheel, nice chunky one, for all the usual stuff that you will require in terms of telephony or music or cruise control. Everything is there. And on cruise control, this is adaptive cruise control, which is part of the level 2 ADAS suite that comes with the Golf GTI. Now there are some really smart touches also, like if you look at the center console, then while it has a charging pad, they've also given a stand to place on top of it so that you can keep your phone on it without having to charge it. So usually what happens is, if the space is there and you keep your phone, then it starts charging, and when you don't want charging, you have to find some other place to keep it, and they've sort of solved that problem with that. Comes with 2 Type-C USB ports as well for your phone, a nice bottle holder, cup holder, and the gear selector is this E-shifter right here, the engine stop start button, button to park, and storage space for under the center armrest. Overall, it's a very premium looking interior and goes well with the image of a Volkswagen, the image of a family car, the image of a performance car, and it sort of gets a right mix going for you. You'll really love sitting here. So is there anything missing considering the segment of this car? Well, the seats, as you can see, well bolstered sports seats. They've given it a nice finish as well, but this doesn't come with AC vents. There is no seat cooling. There is seat heating, which we've also seen in other imported Volkswagen cars, and also there are no power switches. I'm still okay with that, but what really irks me is the rotor dial that they've used to adjust the seat backrest. An easier option would have been the lever type, which is there in their other cars, but unfortunately it is not available on the Golf. But having said that, this car is a very personal type and it will not be shared by many drivers in the family, probably be one person itself, and you adjust the seat and keep it at that. And that is why maybe Volkswagen engineers thought that this is some feature that they can let go of. Do you think that's the right thing? Let us know in the comments below. Now to the rear of the Golf GTI. As you can see, it's pretty low slung, and the seat as well. The under thigh support is seems fine. This is a comfortable place for 2 people. 3 will be a squeeze, especially if you see the center tunnel running across the floor. Now at the rear, apart from the seats which are well bolstered, there are not much in terms of creature comforts, but I'm assuming that a Golf GTI's rear seat is not that will be used much. There are AC vents at the rear, there are door pockets with bottle holders, you have the roof light and Type-C USB ports as well. So very simple and straightforward place. I'm assuming this is okay in terms of an emergency. It's a family car, so you can expect those levels of comfort. They've given enough storage places. The seats are nice, well bolstered and sporty and sort of keep you in place. And of course you have the AC. However, like most imported European cars, the AC is probably not as powerful as what you see in the made for India Volkswagens. I've driven this car on the track at high speeds and you've seen how stable and confident it feels. It's the same thing when you're on a twisty road. Now, I've already mentioned the power and torque figures on this. The power comes in instantaneously and the gearbox is pretty quick and smooth. What drivers will also like about this is how there is a nice throaty exhaust note that comes into the car. It's very quintessential sports car like. The steering is another really good part of this. This comes with progressive steering. It weighs up nicely. It is a little heavy set, unlike a lot of other cars, and that bodes well with the kind of speeds and the kind of power that the Golf GTI has. It isn't exactly a quiet cabin, but you don't mind the noise really. Acceleration is instantaneous and it starts with a thud, and that's exactly how performance cars should accelerate. The car comes with independent suspension all around, and they are low profile 18-inch tires, but the ride is actually not bad. This is quintessentially a family car, and that really shines through with the suspension. It is a little stiff, but still as a daily use car also, this will work pretty well. We have not been able to test the fuel efficiency, but we reckon it would just about probably touch the double digits. That's a heavy-set door, very typical of Volkswagen, and the Golf is an ideal example of what German engineering is all about, especially what Volkswagen prides on. It's going to be a full import from headquarters, which is Wolfsburg, Germany, and that means that it will not have a price advantage because of the taxes. It will be around 55 to 60 lakhs is what we reckon. The exact price is mentioned in the description because when we were shooting this, the prices were yet to be announced, but we had the estimated prices for this. And despite the fact, I think what the Golf GTI does is it offers a chance to many petrol heads to actually live out their dream. Now, cars like this are not going to be made specifically for India. It's a global car, it's a world car. It's a kind of car that petrol heads around the world enjoy, and so will Indians very soon. So a lot of good things going for it in terms of build quality, in terms of handling, in terms of driving, in terms of performance. Some features are missing, but those are creature comforts, and we think that owners will be distracted when they get down to actually fine-tuning it as per their liking. So that's all on the Golf GTI from our side. If you like the video, do share it with family and friends, especially those who would like to have a car like this, and keep following Car and Bike.